da da da. Hooba dooba gooba. Just trying to get to my channel so I can see if I'm live. Ha ha. Alright, alright, alright. Hey, I got another subscriber. People trying to find me, figure out what I'm doing. I'm just sitting here, beep boop bop. Okay. We're doing it live. Alright, yeah. No, doing it live. So, actually a lot of progress. I made a lot of progress since yesterday. I've been going through, there's something silly I was gonna say, but I don't remember what it was. I don't know. It'll probably come to me. But I had all these out because I am now at the part where I start making models for this game. But I'm going to start putting some wood down because I broke a whole bunch of popsicle sticks yesterday. Like an insane amount. Not 1,000, because there's still a very large Rubbermaid just full of popsicle sticks. They really go a long way, which is good. So, I'll put these little bases back in this bag. I essentially just went to put all of my models that I'm going to be playing with, my Doom Company as well as Kelly's, onto bases. 25mm bases. Yeah, that's what these are, 25s. I know the Brute is a little bit decisive, or divisive. It's a little divisive and decisive, because it is larger than the others. So I've seen it also on a 32. I'm going to stick with 25. I think that's a size base that I think would look best. So these will be the 3 that Kelly has chosen. Her knight is the captain, which is this guy. That's her knight captain, and then a brute and a scavenger. So I am going to be getting these guys all readied up. I also put pins in the feet. That's what this piece of metal right here is. Huh, that's legit as hell. I didn't realize that this camera would do that. That autofocus was dope. So yeah, those are the 3 that I'm going to be using for Kelly's Doom Company. I am going to have a warrior priest. Where did that thing go? Wherever my warrior priest went, it's over there. A warrior priest, a saboteur, who I believe I'm going to use this model for. If not, maybe this guy if I don't use a fighter. I was set on a saboteur, a scavenger, and a warrior priest. And my warrior priest being my captain. I'm not sure. I know the warrior priest and the saboteur are going to be in there. I don't know if I want to go with a scavenger, just because knowing that Kelly has got one in her band, I kind of want to play all the different classes or get a feel for them as much as possible. So I might switch for a fighter or something else, just to get a better range of the game. And again, because I'm not trying to min-max anything, I'm really excited to see how any of them play. So that'll be fun. But yeah, let's see. After that, the main thing I'm going to be doing this morning, and that's what I'm probably going to be doing here in just a second, is I'm going to start putting the wood on here and on here. And then I'm going to look into actually building onto the side, like the scaffolding. The scaffolding that is going to be on the sides of here, I'm going to build that. And then we're going to go into detailing, like grit. Putting more grit on here. Same thing with windows and door frames. Those are going to be things that are added now. Also, one more thing that I wanted to cover is the height. Re-looking through the rules last night while Kelly and I picked out our Doom companies. And by that, let me rephrase that. We did not do any character development or anything like that. I simply wanted to have her pick what classes and who her captain probably was going to be, and did the same for myself. That way I could at least start on the models, because I'm doing everything in different... I'm not doing everything in the order in which people probably would do this. They normally wouldn't do this all at the same time. That's not how I used to hobby. It's very... And it's honestly, it's like the default way that my brain just works when I'm hobbying now. It's... now that and a big chunk of that is honestly thanks to Johnny, Witchhammer. Meeting Johnny and just seeing how his brain works and knowing how similar we are, it's like it unlocked a door. It's like I had a door in my house that I knew about, but I didn't know how to get into. And Johnny, for some reason, had a key to it. And when I met him, he gave me that key to the door in my own house. And since then, it's like I go in that room when I'm like working on hobby stuff, because I know it sounds like I'm an insane person, but that's the easiest way to explain it. And it's honestly the easiest way to explain my, I guess, relationships with people that I meet and I find kindred spirit. Like a kindred spirit, I guess that's the easiest way for me to explain the concept of kindred spirit is it's like meeting somebody that has a key to a door in your house that you kind of knew was there, but you didn't understand. But you're like, oh, that's a way to understand myself better by understanding this other person, because they are so much like me, but different. And that is honestly how I've come to enjoy a lot of the things that I enjoy the most, is meeting people that are so like me, but so different, either in a subtle way, or but those kind of relationships are the ones that have kind of started to just dominate my life in the past couple of years, where it's just finding more people that I have so much in common with, except for something that just very clearly you can see it's just like, I'd be just like that if this thing happened instead of this thing. That's what I'd turn out like. But just the way that our brains work is very startling in how similar it is, especially when you go your whole life thinking that other people just aren't like you in how they think and how they work. So, other thing, ranting, that autofocus, pretty fucking dope. Didn't know it did that. Stoked about that. So, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm probably going to pick up that other lens that Eric was saying. Man, that detail looks fucking sick. So, yeah, this is the stone mill. This is the one that was printing out for 30 hours. Grieblin's been going hard at it. It's a really awesome building. Yeah, so the bricks that I was making, and honestly, they didn't even look like that. That looks like a good house. Like cottage style house. Mine, they were really crazy. It looked like, take that as you will, but it looked seriously like the webs that spiders make when they're on like LSD. It's real crazy. I had to find it. I don't know what I was doing. Got to blow my nose. I need to email Greg today to thank him for the paints. I did not do that yesterday, despite it being on my list. And then I also... Eventually, I promise, when I have enough of the stuff done, I will be able to not have to, like, peek around and hide around. I'll just be able to just talk to you guys. But until we get there, it is going to be a little bit of this where it's just not as smooth, not as polished. I'll get more polished later, I promise. So yeah, other than showing off the models that I made, showing off the things that I printed, let me grab some gloves. I'll show you the other thing I got going on over here. So I printed up the majority of the Cult of the Black Grail. I've got a Lord of Tumors here. I'm going to put another glove on because I don't want to accidentally touch anything that's got any resin on it. This is not cured. These are not fully cured. I thought one of my lights was about to fall. We're still working on that. Eventually, I will have that situation fixed to where the lights that are on here are not like an issue. Okay. Fan. I have a fan blowing on this stuff to dry it off. I'm gonna close out here. Okay. So, essentially on here we've got the amalgam. Its arms, I only have one Herald of Beelzebub. I did make 2 Plague Knights. They are mirrored, so. We've got all of the Corpse Guard, the wonderful little Griblies that follow behind the Lord of Tumors and 2 of the dogs. So I think the only thing that I'll need to print, man, those fly eyes look really good. Really, really, really good. I don't know. I don't understand when this, maybe it has to be within a certain spectrum of the zoom for it to autofocus like that, but damn, that's sick. I swear I didn't notice that the other day. This guy's face cracks me up because it is so comical, but also utterly horrifying. Like when you really think about it, just like that's really deeply disturbing. Yeah, I'm real stoked about that. Real stoked to get those guys cut off there here and probably the next. I'll do it whenever the stream's over. That's a bad stream. But I'll be getting those off and putting them into the drying chamber. Yeah, drying station. So yeah, today I'm going to be mainly working on these. I'm going to take these gloves off. Oh yeah. So I did a lot yesterday. And again, trying to think about this. Whereas my way of working on things has altered since, interacting with Johnny and learning, I guess really learning about myself, that if I don't do the damn thing, I'm not going to do the damn thing. So the thing is just get the fuck up and do it. And that's like not just me saying, hey, to you at home, but like me, like if I don't get up and do the thing, it's not getting done. So that's a big part of making anything, I think, is just coming to terms with why you want to do it, and also keeping up the motivation, because if it is something that you really enjoy, you're going to have, no matter what, even if it's something that you just love to do and it's not a job, it's a hobby, you're going to run into issues are going to happen with everything, just because you cannot predict the future no matter how well you try. There will always be something that goes wrong and you will have to adapt. And while it is very difficult to say, learning to embrace that chaos, And I'm saying that like, oh yeah, if you just embrace the madness and the chaos, things will be smoother. But it's just like, it's not so much that. It's just, if you work with the insanity of the world at times, it seems like it's smoother, even if the way that you're doing things is completely insane. And this is a really bad way to explain my process, but the idea of, I know I have to build the castle, I know I have to build all these little guys. I can only do so many things at one time, but if I have them being printed, if I take the time to get the model set up so they will be printing, that buys me 10 to 12 hours to work on this, because I can't work on those, but I've already started it. So it's more of understanding an order of operations, which is a big part of my previous professional career as a design engineer. It is actually the single most important part of, I'd say it's the most important part of how my brain works, and how I do literally anything. But it's very much a order of operations. And I'm very aware that the autistic side, or autism, is typically linked with the ordering things, a specific order and whatnot. And I do not have an issue with breaking an order. It has to do with when my brain works through a problem from the ground up. Like, when I think about, okay, I've got a flower pot here, a flower pot here, a flower pot here, a flower pot here, and in my mind's eye, I'm overlapping them, so I know that they're going to look like this, and then I'm going to cover them with foam or fill them with foam, and then I'm going to cover that with filler. So we are aware this looks like we did in my mind's eye. I just need to finish building the things. But understanding how to craft that and get to that point, I'm not really too sure how to explain how to do that, because again, I don't want to say that everybody doesn't have one, but very much it's a spectrum. I would assume your brain is, and this is, again, some of this is going to be things that I've read by actual studies and whatnot. The rest of it is just, these are my thoughts on it. However, I'm very much realizing that my opinion on it is just as fucking valid as anyone else's at this point, because none of us know. Period. The human body is just absolutely nuts. And the more that you learn about it from a factual standpoint, the more you understand that we are still just bugs. We barely understand how the reproductive systems work in our bodies, what all the things in there actually do, or if there's anything actually connected to anything. And that is how we continue surviving as a species. That's wild to think about. When you think about it, it makes we're trying to explore space, but we haven't fucking even looked into 90% of the ocean. It's just because we are still bugs, and it seems like we've conquered this planet. We haven't. We're just still crawling around on it. All these things are rants and tangents about everything, but it's all how my brain works and how I am imagining this project coming together over time in my head, and trying to pull that out into the physical world, and doing it in the most in the most effective way possible, so I do not get burnt out. I do not get tired of doing one thing or the other. It never stops being fun for me, but also it is very practical and logical. Doing it in my way and knowing the steps that I'm going through before, because I've thought it all through, because it's my show and not someone else's, has been wonderful, because that has been in my professional career as a design engineer, with actual real world problems and millions of dollars of equipment and other things on the line. It's extremely upsetting to know when you are right factually, and then the rest of the world just constantly try to make you do dumb things, and then eventually just ruin your whole plan, and then ask you why it didn't work. That is pretty much what I've gotten to the point of using my abilities outside of what I want to use them for. So I'm kind of done with that, and that's why I'm just doing this now. And it's awesome. And I really hope anyone finding this takes anything out of that. All of this is being said to let you know why the hell I did the next thing, because it's kind of crazy. But 3 buckets, 3 cups. That's a reference to Adventure Time. There is an episode of Adventure Time, spoiler alert if you've not watched it, called 3 Buckets, and it's one of the heaviest episodes. It's in the later arc, where Adventure Time gets real grown up real quick. So these are sticks. These are sticks, not banana chips. They are not organic banana chips. Don't eat these bananas, babies. So yeah, these are sticks that are just in a banana chip box full of glue and water. This is about a 50-50 mix, and the reason they are in there, and it is sealed. That is a key part. We don't want this open, because if it is open, that means that water is going to evaporate, and we don't want it to evaporate. We want it to be absorbed by the wood. So all of this wood that I have harnessed in these 2, these are going to be the sticks that I showed the other day, and you'll kind of notice. Maybe it was an update or something. I don't know. Hell yeah, that autofocus is dope. So yeah, all these sticks are just soaking. The reason I'm doing that is because understanding how wood works, and fiber and all of that. Essentially, if you take you've seen it before, paper is a byproduct of wood to a degree. If you take a piece of wood, if you take a piece of paper, you stick it in water. Over time, the water moves up into the stick or the piece of paper, and stops being in the cup, because it is absorbent. So what we are doing is we have a bunch of sticks that are dead. They have dried out. They do not have anything that could let them change interior-wise. Like, we want them to be dead because we don't want any more growth. We don't want any other change. We want them to be at their max of unpredictability. We'll say that. I need to plug in my hot glue gun. We want all of the materials that we use. That is the best way to explain my approach to every model that I make and everything I use. But yeah, my entire method of building, painting, and making art is a balancing act of predictability. That's really, I guess, if I had to explain how I see my art and how I try to convey my art, is a balancing act of predictability. I want you to see what I'm trying to show you. But everything I make is made with the intention of making someone feel something or think something, and not always necessarily a knee-jerk, but I definitely want, when you look at a model or you look at a concept or a design, I want you to not understand initially what you're looking at, or to have to think about it. And that's just where I am with all of this. Again, I've been making things for so long that the idea of making them the way that they are on the box, or the way they look, or they're supposed to look, has utterly no meaning for me whatsoever. I get no enjoyment whatsoever from it, outside of it's something to do with my hands. And if that's the case, I'd rather build a Gundam any day of the week because they are the best model kits on the planet. Period. Uh, and that is not it's because I love Gundam so much. It's Bandai is the company that makes Gundam model kits gives more shits about model kits and the planet than like 90% of our country, I feel like. And honestly, I'll go even further than that, that if fucking the guys that designed the layout of the sprues in a Gundam kit, if they were given responsibility, the world would be a better place. I'll put that there too. Because they clearly, their brains are very good and they are very underutilized. And I'm realizing now that it's just me bitching about the working class being underutilized until they eventually get sick and tired and go do what they love. And that's why our society is like where it's at. But maybe that's just me realizing, oh shit, I tried to play the game wrong way too early. I don't have all the answers. I'm just waking up still. I hope you all are having a good morning though. It's 7:12 on the day of our Lord. Wednesday, my dude. It's definitely quiet in the chat today. I think I gave everybody a Discord and they just said that they are done. They're done hanging out at 6 a.m. now that they can talk to me anytime. I'm just kidding. I don't mean it. I spoke it into being. Alright. So, gluing that back on there. I don't know if I want to make this level. I think I need to. I think I need to. Yeah, fuck. I think I need to level this thing. At least to some degree. Yeah, I'll cut it like that. That's how, this is the level of just real technicality I like to get. It's just like, is that level? Yeah. Okay, that's not, oh boy. I mean, it's not that on level though. What are they selling? Chocolate. Okay. So, I don't think I can finish that thought, which is unsurprising to those who enjoy this channel. You sickos. Three. Yeah, okay. So, in 1492. So no, not that one. This one. Yeah. 1490 Doom. 3 inches. Climbing is done in a very specific way in 1490 Doom. It's essentially done like through moving. If an object is scalable. Some things are not scalable. You know common sense. This is scalable. The side of this building structures are scalable. And as a young lad who liked to fuck shit up, and is happy to be alive and not die from doing dumb things. Yeah, you can scale buildings like this. I have. My friend's parents' house had bricks that were ornamentally sticking out on part of their house. So we used to climb up it to get on top of their garage. And then we stopped doing that when we got in trouble because Ed jumped off. He dropped the people's elbow on the hood of his Buick from Alan's garage, and it put a really big dent in the top of the Buick. And it was shortly after that, when he jumped off and was like, that one of Alan's parents came out and was just like, get off the roof. We are going to get the police called. You can't be on the roof. Again, we are like middle of the suburbs, just trash children. I literally could see the house. I could see this roof in question if I opened the blinds to my basement and looked out the window. That's a weird thought. Huh. Small world. But not because of my choices to only move like 2 blocks from my childhood home. It's a small world for all kinds of things. That seems small, but it's a lot creepier. So yeah, I'm really, yeah, I don't think I'm going to level it that way. I think I'm going to level it this way, as in we will have that be kind of the floor, and then we're gonna have rubble. I'm thinking there. That's about where I want the floor to be. And just as let's talk about it. Let's get it on there. Let's make this a real thing. We're gonna put one little stick right there so I don't forget. Stop on your right foot, don't forget it. Now we're gonna bring it around town. I never finished with this. This is the stalks. Oh my goodness, there is somebody in there. It's a little wasp. Sorry, friend. Dead wasp. A dead wasp. That's what they say. Anywho, well, you shouldn't have been trying to get in my house, wasp. This would be the, man. Eric said it yesterday in the chat. It starts with a W, but it's that little plant, and this is the same thing again. However, this time, keen viewers will notice that these are not the same shade. This is like white because it's all-purpose tight bond. Tight bond, all-purpose white glue. Bam. Build that up, and then about it's pretty much just cut 1-1 water glue. I'm hoping to see. I don't know how long I need to sit. I can't stress enough. Also, these are not like, we want to do this for X amount. You're riding this dragon with me, baby. This is wood glue. It's tight bond wood glue and water, and I have used this concoction, this mix before. These are best by August 12th, 2025. If you want to eat these, they are a product of the Philippines. They're not. I made them here in my basement. Yeah, so these are essentially hollow for the most part. So it is just the thin outer part, the husk, the shell of like outside part of the plant, and I'm pretty much wanting that to just be so soaked utterly and full of glue that it becomes almost like plastic. We want it to be, when I bring it out of there and it dries out, it just to be the stick, but now inside those fibers where it would have swelled with water, it's now swelling with glue, and that glue is sealing all of those pores. We are essentially taking this and making it go from a very open cell, open pore concept material to completely sealed and closed. And once it's dry, once that glue is dry, then it will take paint, then it will take wash, then it will take whatever we want. Prepping your materials and getting them all on the same page is next to godliness in my type of art, in my work. Making it to where when I go to put paint on something, I am not surprised to find that a piece of the model or the work does not take paint right. And that can be metal, that can be rubber, that can be plastic. There's all kinds of things, because I use so many different materials, because they all offer different things. Hair actually takes paint really. Hair takes paint really well, and ink. I did save whenever I was working on Frustration. It is the 23rd. I have to enter Frustration into Smash Bash, but I've been, honestly, I think I might paint on Frustration more. I might do a little more work on Frustration to try and get it to where I wanted it to be, because it's not done. And while I'm happy that it was in Golden Demon, because I wanted more people to see it, I don't know if I like how it was presented because of my own, again, lack of time constraints. I did not have time to fully let the transparent gel set before I put the weathering pigments on. So the weathering and the transparency kind of is blended. And the gloss in certain spots is a different type of gloss than I wanted. Which that sounds weird. It's just a different level to it. It doesn't look wet so much as it looks shiny. And that's something that I want to fix. So, with that said, I'm thinking. So that is where I need to build up the floor if I want this to be kind of level there. And same thing as over here. That looks kind of right. And then I can just file down the other parts. That seems right. Is that right? Maybe. Shit. Maybe I should just level this thing. I don't think I should. Part of me is also trying to have stuff scattered on here as far as trash, things like that. But yeah, I'm gonna need to level this. So, how do we want to do that? Well, they usually cut a cake with a big old long knife, and that seems right. Who am I to switch things up? Let me find a... Hey, I got an idea. Hey, big tough guys. All right, the rock eater. Hey, my idea seems to be working. It's just like a cake. Oh, God. You're watching at home and thinking, this seems like it wasn't planned out too well. You might be a keen observer. Eli, I am disappointed. Get that out of here. Actually, fuck this. Here we go. Yeah, so some of this filler was absolutely not done drying, and that would not be an issue, but I still don't like it. It wouldn't be an issue where it's at because it was underneath
But that does mean that it's not sealed inside there. I don't like that just from a overall standpoint of I don't like the idea that there could be later on a piece inside of here that becomes loose. And then I get to hear rattle around because I would hate that. This guy needs to come off. I can tell what I was doing, but it's not happening, kid. Get out of here. Same thing with that. I hate how wet that is still. Yeah, it needed to be exposed to oxygen, and I sealed it up too quick. I'm gonna wash my hands because I don't like that. After I cut this out, and I don't think I'm not gonna do anything too silly here. This was a good choice. I'm happy with this. Keen viewers will notice that, yes, would be the piece I just glued on. But, again, I don't really care about that right now. I'm just trying to get this. That needs to be filled. Right here. I can absolutely stuff stuff down in there. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to use the same foam that is in here. Honestly, it doesn't even need to be glued. It's just going to be filler at this point. I am going to take the quote-unquote filler that is on there, the vinyl filler that's coming off, and I'm going to let that keep falling off because that will kind of scrap and rubble. The foam itself, though, will not. The foam has to be covered. The foam is only filler to fill that space up underneath of this flower pot. The flower pot does not have enough structural integrity to allow us to really build on it and kind of layer things the way that I like to, without having to worry about it falling over time. And by over time, I mean like while I'm working on it. If we put too much weight onto the materials before they have a time to fully set, then all the stuff that we're doing and while we're doing it in the order that we're doing it in, we don't gain anything from doing them in this order, and we could have just waited. But if we do things in a certain order with certain materials in a certain way, then we can work on the project at multiple stages at the same time while it is in progress. That way, by the time that all the things are done, we're done way earlier than if we'd done it. Terrible drainage this morning. It's my face. It's all in my face. That's rubbing. Now, hey, that looks better. Looks a lot more level. If and I had to guess, I'd say it probably is. I don't know why I just washed my hands and proceeded to come right back over here and put them right back in this fill. But that's what I just did. I'm just feeling pretty dumb about it now. This is a very not pleasant hand feel as well. That's for certain. I don't like the way it feels on my hands. it's going to get some hot glue to hold it down. Pushed into there. And again, we're okay with this being messy with the hot glue because it's going to be underneath the wood. We're not going to see this. We need it to just be covered, but we need it to be held in place, so that's why I'm putting all the hot glue on there. We need to be held in place while the next phases are being done. That needs some foam in there. I'm going to grab another stick. I'm also going to put gloves on. I'm going to wash my hands, put gloves on. I can do this. All right, I'll grab my gloves. No. Got some filler on my houday. Okay. I'm also gonna grab some water. All right, we got 8 minutes before I'm gonna do a coffee. Chat has been quiet today. It's okay. I've been spoiled. Alrighty. I'm also, at this point, kind of used to streaming for a couple hours now. People don't typically hop until later on. That's fine. I'm just working away. People can hop in when they want to. Nothing missed. Okay. There is just a lot more space in there than I thought, so that's going to get some foam. I don't like that. Get in there. Again, this is mildly unnecessary, but I do like it to be reinforced from the inside. Same thing with my larger models or figures, my demons. The demons that I made were also typically, if they were big enough, they were hollow and stuffed because of weight. And that is something that I can rant about, but the weight of a model or a piece or a figure and the base in which it touches the table or the board or anything like that is something that I have thought about for a long time. Just because the part of me that is saying, yeah, don't feel like super attached to your models and don't worry about breaking off a hand to replace it if it gets cut off in game. That part of me is there, yeah, but also the other part of me that's like, I don't want my models to get scratched when I'm playing. That's there too. So I'm aware. There's two types of insane person living in this body, and they both are crazy. They both have unrealistic expectations of reality. I'm loving it. Say, I picked up the glue sticks, I never put a glue stick in. And now, 10:36. I think we got time for me to stab that castle. Stab the parapet. Very good. Stabbed. Now back to my hunch. Disgusting. Mop that up. Okay. No, I'm happy with this. This is looking sick. This little guy, he's not sure what to do, so I'll take him off. That's not on him. It's not on you, bud. It's not your fault. What the hell was I expecting you to do? Alrighty. I'm thinking that looks good. I'm pleased with that. Now I don't know. There is a slight increase in height over on this side, so I might do some crazy stuff. I'll start cutting this. I might pull that off, this off, that off, that off. And we're gonna go right here. And then we're gonna go back here. Yeah. Yeah, no, that looks good. That looks real good. Real fucking good. Alright. Hell yeah. Oh, fuck, this is gonna be so sick. I'm gonna throw my wife off this castle so good. She's gonna be like, hey babe, what's going on? Something like that. Alrighty. Nah, in all honesty, she's the one that's got brutes. She's probably gonna throw me off this castle. I fully expect that, and I'm really excited about it. Can't wait for my wife to throw me off that castle. Okay. Yeah, so we don't want them to be crazy long. Yeah, it's 7:39. I'll probably stop here. Shit, I don't know. I might, honestly, I'll probably go make coffee. And I'm just gonna leave the stream running. And I'll come back and I'm gonna start just gluing these. And I am going to probably, I'm gonna break them up and make them irregular lengths. We don't want to have the same lengths, and this is way too long anyway, so. Looks good to me. But again, we don't want them cut. 7:39. I think my wife is attempting to make coffee instead, which means I need to go stop her. Get away from that coffee. It's my job. I think I'm done playing around in the goop though, so that's good. Yeah, all this filler. I'm gonna shake that off before I start gluing down pieces. There it is. Again, that is because we want this out, not stuck underneath of anything. Or at least I do. With that said, I'm gonna go make coffee. You're back. All right. Don't have my gloves on. Got to get my hands messy again. I think I made this guy too big. I think I need to go back in and adjust his size. The villain. He's a knight. That's a knight. Yeah, I think he's just 10% too big. I'll make him smaller right now. Probably do that today. My coffee should be done brewing. Alrighty. Just joined. Is it coffee time? It's coffee time, Eric. You know it. I just finished making it. And I gotta put my gloves on. So yeah. We have got coffee going. We've got I did a lot of cake cutting, which I never thought that I would see the day, but I might be at the point that I'm like, it legitimately might be worth my time to purchase one of those cake knives. Like, I've got one upstairs, but like having one dedicated for working down here, because I definitely do need a long tool to cut with, like straight, because yeah, and I'm looking at it now, it's gonna bother me if I don't fix it. I think it's not perfectly level, and that's fine. It doesn't need to be perfectly level. It shouldn't technically be perfectly level, because they sure as fuck didn't know what they were doing. I mean, they had an idea of how to make things, and they knew how to make things level, but they weren't worried about that right now, especially with the creeping death and the bees. There's so many bees. I can't stress that enough. We all know that about 1490 Doom, 1490 Buzz. Bzzz. I was going to, the chance, I think these, might be dry enough. They look so fucking rad. Yeah, I think they're dry enough at this point. They're looking very gnarly. Yeah, the Lord of Tumors is just absolutely a fucking amazing sculpt, and just utterly nightmarish. Its face, the teeth are just so scary. It's like, man, you got it in one. I think I'm gonna put these in the Easy Bake real quick. Turn my fan off so I'm not yelling in the wind. And I'll come over here while I do this. That way I am not just standing off to the side and shouting in the dark of my basement. It's actually very bright over there. And I'm going to put down a napkin because I don't want a napkin. I'll put down this here napkin because I don't want it to... Yeah, they're dry already. But, nah, there's a little bit. There's a little bit of residual resin on there. Resin and the alcohol. Which is what I was not wanting to touch my hands or my tool. And then me. So I'm really trying to get better about that because I am showing you guys how to do things. I want to show you how to do things in the right way, in the safe way, because I care about you. And I don't want anybody doing anything that could get them hurt. Especially if I'm the one who showed them how to do it. Response to Trellitrance, as they say. I'm honestly surprised that I was able to fit all of these on one plate, and Chitubox did not think I could. It was like, dude, there's like 6 models more than you need on there, and I was like, I'll make it work. Don't you worry about that. Don't you tell me, robot. You robot. Now that, yeah, I've thought about that, that kind of is a little more offensive than I meant. Robot. Robotnik. Come on, Amalgam. He's a big boy. Oof. That is a big honkin' amalgamation. The heads of the corpse guards are hollowed, which I appreciate from one standpoint, but also did not like from the other. One, it saves you resin if you're printing them. Two, depending on how you're printing them, the resin might get trapped that you're trying to save, and you might use it anyway. I don't know. There is an entire like spectrum of 3D printing that I honestly don't fully understand. I don't, and again, I don't know if it's the, am I just autistic, or is it a, which that answer is probably yeah, definitely. But the whether or not the resin that is staying inside of there when you hollow it, when you print, when I go to print something, all of these I never personally use supported files. Like if I buy a file from someone, I do not use the supported files because almost all of them are done with, I think, Lychee or some other program. And typically, in my experience, this is what I've noticed, it seems very much like it's done by AI. And I mean that as in of course, that is like, yeah, that's the most practical way to print the part. But it's the single worst way you could possibly print a part if you gave a shit about detail and what you wanted the part to look like. Lychee typically will print the model exactly as it's just standing there. So then it just kind of like raises it and puts the detail. Or it will rotate it to where all of mine are essentially, for the most part, tilted at a 15 to 25 degree angle. No, not 15 to 25, probably closer to 25 to 45, 35 to 45. The AI supports have too many fingers. Yeah, all those AI supports, they just keep growing fingers. They just put way more fingers on there. But the main issue is that, and Chitubox, I'll finish this when I get back over there. And that's why I don't like it. No, I'm just kidding. 1 second. My things. Alrighty, so I was ranting and raving about the robots taking over from too many fingers. The AI, I feel like AI programs, Lychee, anything that, and I'm not saying, oh, you all should be putting your supports on yourself. I mean, you should. If you're selling things to people, I think a human being should think about where the supports go on the model, because it's a product. And my reasoning for bringing this up is because I have found myself printing way more models these days than I used to that are not just something that I need a piece from or that I've cut. Like, I'm printing actual models to play with as they are with just a little bit of work done. I'm gonna put this knife saw back over there. Knife saw. But with AI, they will have the model angled toward the angles that you don't want. So the connection points will often be on the face. They'll be on parts that are very detailed or that overhang. And because they put it through the AI says these are the parts. This is the best spot to make the connection for the print. And it's just like, yeah, that's true. However, now his face has a big a spur, essentially, that you're going to have to very carefully fix. And if you fix it
not carefully, it might shatter and you might lose a very large amount of detail. So I essentially, and this isn't like, ooh, I reinvented the wheel. This is like, this was common, like when you're learning how to do like resin printing, like this was just the steps of how to understand how it works. And I think because everything has become so automatic, AI based, whatnot. Obviously, that's fallen to the wayside. It's just wild to see how quick it did. Like, there was just like, okay, nope. If it's supported, then it's probably been done very poorly by a robot. You're better off if you understand what you're doing. Taking the unsupported file, right-clicking it in Chitubox Pro, doing a -45 and just hit auto support. 99% of the time, you will get a better print than if you trust whoever you're buying the print from and their supported files. Again, I would say it's not on them. It's kind of on them for not looking. There's so much shit though. I can't stress enough. That's the amount of things that it takes to really dial in a digital product like that. I'm not saying that it's not doable. I'm saying that you have to make, you got to have a line somewhere. But it's better than printing, a bunch of different types of model that all have a very noticeable issue with them and just no one checked it. That's a thing versus, oh, the file, yeah, you could print that in a better way for detail wise. And again, that's on whoever wants to be printing it. I'm just kind of talking at this point. I need to have some coffee, which is decaf. I also need to spend more time adding stuff to the Discord, getting that set up. I was going to make some rolls. If there are any rolls, ROLE rolls, or ROLLS, any rolls, biscuits, titles, requests, I'm down. Otherwise, that'll probably just be like admin. I am utterly horrified of giving people admin privileges, but also it's just like, it's gonna happen. And I'm just hoping you do your best. Yeah, so that's a thing. I mean, technically, I think if I give admins privileges, they can change what their admin title is. I am very, very fond of just letting it happen. I realized that I can't have the Hive Scum stance of no gods, no mods, because Gage found out, like, he was like, nope, I thought we could do that. And part of me wants to be like, yeah, like that, but I mean it, like, but it will just get too fucking crazy, and I know that is what will happen. I know how people are. I know how I am. I can't handle that kind of responsibility. So yeah, we're gonna start gluing down some wood sticks. I'm excited. I've been waiting my whole life for this. I'm preparing mentally, spiritually, and I think I'm ready. And so is the Easy Bake. Easy Bake's done. Cookies is done. And cookies is done. That's typically if Kelly and I are watching a movie or a show, and we are over there on the couch. If we hear my curing station go off, it makes a little beep. We always say, Dad, cookies is done. Like Margot's waiting on her little Easy Bake cookies. Alrighty, here we go. We're gonna do bleep blop. Just a couple little broken sticks. Maybe one right here. Yeah, it's looking good. Looking good. Also, Roz was wonderful enough to point out that there is the expansion Solitary Defilement for, I believe, Forbidden Psalm, that I do own, which makes Forbidden Psalm a solo game. So that is also very much looking into. Very much worth looking into. That is also very much looking into, yes. Yes, human man, me. I am human man. That needs to be leveled. This is already leveled, so we could start doing some woodening.
Yeah, and I'm very aware there are going to be dips in this, and that's good. I like a dip. I like the little dip in there. That guy, I don't really necessarily like the little dip in there. So that is going to be raised up. Just a smidgen. Just a little bit though. Like just that much. Just needs a little in the middle. Maybe a little over there. Yeah. This is going great. Nobody will get thrown off here. We don't need to build any fences or railings. I can hear what I'm assuming is my son Oliver running around the house up there. I'm just wondering what's going on in his little kitty mind right now. He's doing it. He is a runner. He is his mother's son. That's a Wolf Parade reference. I am a runner. You are your father's son. That's... Fuck, this is gonna be so good. I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked about this castle. Old Count Jumbo. Mumbo, Jumbo, Grumbo. This is gonna be so cool. Eric, I'm so stoked. I'm gonna have an awesome castle to throw people off of. Eric, you're gonna have to come over and let me throw you and your dudes off this castle as well. I'm so excited to play 1490 Doom. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, there we go. That's gonna be good. I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing. Alrighty. Let's go! Hell yeah. I'm so pumped about this castle. Yes. 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 A magic man. Uh-oh. Got some little pieces there. A little too short, but that's okay. We want it to look real. Not all those wooden beams are going to be the same. Most, in fact, won't be. I would assume there was a little bit of variation at the time, given that there was no machine work and everything was done by hands. I would assume that their 2x4s are not the most perfect. Oh yeah. Bam. 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 Wham. Ham. There it was. Alrighty. I don't have my little snips. I don't got no snips. Here they are. Snip, snip, snip. Snip, snip. Homemade. Oh. Now that one I am fine because you're not going to see the wood. It's going to be kind of covered. Oh, also, I just realized you guys can't even see. Definitely backing 1490 Doom when it launches. Looks fun. Yeah, I am absolutely going to. I am very, very excited for this game. And I also, I don't know, I love how much they're wanting to put out a game that is very much I don't know. Talking with Cody, and again, Cody is my friend, so it's a difficult kind of thing to be like, yeah, I think my friend has good intentions on blank, because it's like, yeah, of course you want to assume that your friends have good intentions. But I will say, full disclosure, Cody is not. I met Cody after Kalita. He had. I do not have as close, or I did not have as close of a. I would think that, yeah, Cody's definitely one of my close friends now. I did not have as close of a relationship with Cody initially. Like, I definitely met him later on in, you know, my hobby career, as opposed to, say, like the wires and stuff. That is going to bother me. That one is the only one that's like straight. So we're gonna have to fix that. This guy just needed a little bit of scuffing. Yeah. And I definitely, it takes me a long time to warm up to people, so it's not oh yeah, I know he's got great intentions. It's like, no, yeah, I've talked to Cody about some stuff that is not super fun to talk about, because it's like real world stuff. And his responses, answers, why he is doing what he is doing is all I need to know, that he's doing the right thing. And it is what I added up with, you know, make a game that you can play on a 2-foot round board that, you know, everyone typically has room for a board or a table or something to be played on that size. If you have a place to eat food, you have a place to play 1490 Doom. And then having so little like model count is, it kind of lets you know where someone's intentions are. I think you have to, the fewer things that your game relies on to make it fun, the physical things of a game are not a game. Like, in my opinion, those are the least important part are these things. The important part for me is always my imagination, and it's always been that way for me. And listening to Cody and Eric talk about 1490 Doom, it's very fucking clear that is exactly where they are coming from. And listening to Cody talk from a friend place, but also as a fellow adult, from a like, hey, I really support you doing what you want to do, but this is what I found out since I've been doing what I want to do. Cody wants to make games because he loves making games, and I love that. I love him wanting to make games because I love playing games. But he's just like, I want to make games because I love to play games, and he was like, and it is a little frustrating. He was like, I've not played any games since I started making my game. He was like, I really want to play games, but I have not even gotten to play like my game outside of like showing people how it's played so they can play it, and then I watch them play it, or I walk them through playing it. And it's just like, that being something that, like, it's the same thing with Turbo Dork. It's I did this because I love this thing, and now I don't get to do that thing, but I get to see other people doing that thing that I love, and that gives me happiness now. And then the other thing, this is just full disclosure. Hopefully, Chloe doesn't mind this, but I don't think by any means this could be anything. If someone's like, "Oh, fuck him," like, fuck that, fuck, yeah, anyone that's like negative on that. At Adepticon, I trying to explain to people what I am doing, or what I want to do, and what I believe, and my values, and what I'm wanting to add to the world at this point in my life. I never want anyone to feel like I'm judging them, and that was one of the things that I definitely felt bad about with Cody, is that Cody very clearly is such a sweetheart, and Eric as well. It's just like, talking about companies. And I will say, the part of me that was still looking for an excuse not to like Trench Crusade. Like, I mean, I'm again, I know who I am. I fall in love fucking hard, and then am obsessed. I could not allow myself to do that at this point in time with Trench Crusade like I would normally, because I've had to cut ties with too many things that I thought were important to me, because I've really come to the conclusion that they not only do not share the same beliefs and opinions about what is right and what is wrong from just like a standpoint, I've had to cut a lot of ties with companies, products, things like that, because I can't make myself believe in them anymore. And that has made me wanting to find companies and products and people that believe in what I believe in and support what I want to support way more important. Which is, again, it's not like, oh yeah, I want to support, blank, blank, blank. I'm supporting people being good people. Like, don't use sweatshops. Don't use like slave labor, pretty much. Don't make books showing how to make Holocaust camp dioramas with very graphic depictions. It's very clear when someone is into World War II and when someone is a fucking Nazi. You can tell. I don't know. I guess I don't think they can tell, but everyone else can tell. If you're like, yeah, you're clearly just a fucking Nazi. We all know. That's what I'm getting at. But having paints, having models, having games that, one, I know was made by someone that thinks about me as a person and not as a dollar, like a literal number. And it's like a dollar amount that isn't even fucking important to them. Like, it's a less than actually accountable number for them. It's how much money could I get other people to spend on them. That's how other companies that are making games and trying to get your attention so you can have fun with products, that's what they're typically worried about. Indie games. Cody was just like, yeah, I have kids. I want to make money, like, and be able to support myself. And it's just like, that was what my tangent was. Is I want to support myself too. I want to do this for a living, and I know that there are enough people out there that also enjoy doing this and want to do this, and I know that I can provide something to the community that is absolutely worth what I would feel comfortable asking for. Like, in a similar sense that, Bestarium. I can give Bestarium $10 a month because it is worth it every month for me. And they are not robbing me. Like, I feel it's a very good exchange for all of us. I don't want to be someone that charges an obscene amount. I want to charge what my time is worth. I don't want to die on a big pile of gold. I want to live happy and comfortable, but I don't want to own the world. And I want the people that do the things that enjoy if you enjoy the things I enjoy, I don't want you to feel like you have to pay to be here or to learn what I am happily giving away for free. And working out how I plan on supporting myself through that we're working on that as well. Obviously, there's different ways. But I don't ever want to have a job again that I fucking hate. I want to do what I love, and then I'm going to die. That's my game plan. That was a very long tangent, and I felt like I had to get all that out in order to finish talking. So, sorry if that's in there. Yeah, definitely. 8:19. It's also kind of a little hard to tell when I'm just like, am I just in a yapping mood, or am I actually cooking here? A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Man, I love this wood. I'm sure I was going there somewhere with that. My whole thing was, Cody absolutely is like, yeah, I would like to make money, but I would like to make money in a way that is responsible and reasonable. I'm not trying to have a 1490 Monopoly, like game, the version of Monopoly, 1490 Monopoly. just that kind of stuff. And I'm not trying to dunk on other companies while I'm just doing this in the morning. It's just I'm still very much come to terms with how, I guess, interior, like how hurt I am about. Right on. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, I'm not really trying to be like, yeah, man, I hate these big companies, corporate gaming. It's just I really have become aware in the past. This year and the rest of the shit going on in our country and the world has made me very aware that I cannot and I will not keep doing nothing. I had a very apathetic opinion on a lot of things, and I know a lot of people do in our community. And when I say that, like, I mean like the gaming community, whether video games, tabletop gaming, nerd culture. I can't stress enough. Like, we are a 100% necessary, like, subgenre, like, of, like, humanity. We have a lot of very useful skills. There's a lot of things that we need to improve on. But I think as a whole, and that's for every fandom group, the positivity and the negative backlash, I think positivity, being more positive towards each other, less hyper negative from perceived perception. Essentially, people perceiving or assuming that the rest of the world is viewing them one way or the other. I am very guilty of it. Realizing that maybe they aren't fucking thinking anything, maybe they aren't thinking this, maybe they aren't thinking that. And kind of take that before we lash out at things, at others. I'm just kind of talking, but I do think they're all good points. I'm essentially just saying don't be fucking trolls for no reason. Or be utterly apathetic. Because while yes, the world will end, you're probably going to be here for a while longer. Hopefully. Optimism. Optimistic conversations with RedWetSkeleton. That's what I bring, BB. It's optimism of some kind. I don't. It's just talking. I'm just talking. Gluing down little pieces of wood. And that's enough for me right now. Like not conceptually, like, or not like that's enough. I'm done. Like, it's more like that's enough for me right now. I'm happy with that. I'm enjoying gluing this little wood down. I'm really excited to play some 1490. I need to get more of these little sticks. Man, this is gonna take a while, but it's gonna be legit. I'm gonna start just breaking some sticks, I think. Just trying to get a bunch of different size ones. Let's do it. Let's go. Beep boop bop. Alrighty. Alright. Trying to think where else we're at, or what else do I got? Talking about Merkborg, talking about Forbidden Psalm, and Solitary Defilement. That would be cool. I think Xer's Alcala is a little too intense for right now. I think solo kind of stuff, man. Also, I can't stress enough how, like, since 1490 can be played solo, I definitely will be doing that as well. There's a solo campaign with the Fall of Rothenburg, or Rotberg. It's where you play with the chap and his doggo, Willem and Berthold, which make me think of Reiner and I want to say it's Berthold from Attack on Titan. which that's a wild ending. I'm a fan. Oh, I need to go back and watch that again. Be-do-bow, be-be-dee. Alrighty, alrighty. I saw in the Discord, Possum posted a super awesome picture of their campaign, which looked really gnarly. Like, I love seeing people's little hand-drawn maps. I love that. Seeing where their little adventure went. I find that stuff so cool. I love solo tabletop RPGs. Just a little imagination sphere. It just harks back to, like, in my head at least, a time where things were a little simpler. You didn't need all the little figures. You just needed some dice, a pencil. Maybe not even dice. Maybe not even a pencil. Maybe not even be inside. You're just outside in the backyard, killing gerblins. Or maybe you're helping gerblins do something. I will look into solitary defilement. Exclusion Zone Botanist really inspired me to delve more into solo. Yeah, I've yet to play it. I really want to. And as soon as I get at a point where I'm like, okay, I think I'm able to stop frantically making things as fast as possible, and I can just play something, I really, really want to get back into doing that regularly. Kelly and I talked about doing that one. And that's another thing is we talk about doing these like solo, and that is one. I was gonna say, oh, date night idea, but like anybody, if you are wanting to hang out with anybody, like, oh hey, my friend's over here, like, and we're wanting to like do something, but not anything super intensive, like, you could do a solo RPG together. Like, Kelly and I have talked about doing that, like, where, oh yeah, we're both gonna like sit and just listen to music for like 30-45 minutes, hang out and just kind of like chill, and just unwind. And it's kind of like sitting in the same room reading a book. Instead, it's just like, you know, playing a little solo RPG. I'm so stoked about this tower. This is looking great. Man, once that gets some paint on it, it's going to look sick. Like paint and dirt. Like, when we throw grit on there and get the other little walls around, that's going to look like a parapet. Man, I love popsicle sticks. Don't really eat too many popsicles, though. Beep, boop, bop. Huh. So, that's looking good. I'm loving it. I was talking about something else. Probably Exclusion Zone. But yeah, we were definitely talking about doing those kinds of things. We kind of cycle back and forth every now and then between like, man, we need to find something to kind of do instead of just watching TV while you're chilling or winding down. And like the weekends, for the longest time, I've just been on the weekends, Saturday, Sunday, I'll wake up, and while we have coffee, Kelly typically will be on her phone or computer looking at making grocery orders or reading articles, just doing her kind of thing, just waking up, chilling, taking it easy, and I will sit on the floor and build a Gundam, or you know, working through solo together is way different than someone DMing the other. Yeah, like, I think that is a whole different experience that is really kind of cool. That could really, I don't know, we've yet to do it, but we've sat down and we've talked about, like, yeah, it'd be fun to play Exclusion Zone Botanist together. Like, not together, but like we're in the same room, and then after, like, you know, that way you get the sense of being near each other. And that's, hey, you coming down? I heard somebody, Marco,
bump into the door upstairs, the basement door, where it opens. She likes to go and she'll lean against it and push it to where the door smacks into the wall. So she's go, so it's like she's knocking. It's very fun. But yeah, it definitely. I've been curious to see. I think that's something that I touched on with Matt and Adam with Sunrot, Totally Not Panicking, and Doom and Apathy. Adam, I absolutely I because especially I've been the forever DM, forever GM for so long. Anytime I get a chance to be a player in another person's world, it's like one of the best days of my life, because I get to just unwind and relax and see where it goes. And I typically play those games, the games that I'm not having to like run. I'm typically just, I'm there for like to let the spirit of the game channel through me, and let whatever happens happen, and champion that, like just get really pumped, which typically leads to just craziness happening, like with Sunrot just being thrown into all the void holes and turning into a revenant, and then eventually being like, I guess I'm going back to live in my, I guess I was in that crypt. Oh no, time shifts. It's just, I love being able to go in and just essentially just flex my imagination muscles. I like going in and just doing that. It's very cathartic and very freeing. I'm very, very big fan of that. So I love when other people are like, I'll tell the story. But where I was getting with that is in regards to doing a solo RPG with someone else in the room. I think you get the sense of togetherness because you're both there, and you get the aloneness as well. Like you don't have to talk, you're just doing your own thing, but you get to be with each other. And then, at the end, you can like compare notes and be like, oh yeah, what happened in yours? It's like, well, this. And you can see the way that different people interpret different things. And that's what I was getting at with talking about it with Sunrot with Adam and Matt. Totally not panicking, Matt. Is that when you leave things open to interpretation, so it becomes much more about the person than it becomes about the game or the rules or the paper. It becomes about the person and their mind essentially relaxing, expanding, letting it do its thing, and seeing where that goes. I love seeing that with other people. That's one of the reasons that I like playing games. I love seeing my friends that may have in my head a certain mode of being. I love seeing them become a different person when we play a game. There's just something very fun about that, and I love being able to do that as well. I don't know, I just love gaming. I love gaming, and I love having fun doing it and sharing that with people that appreciate it. So I'm very excited to keep building these little boards and to find other games to play and show how I play games, see how other people play games. What I liked about Exclusion Zone was getting imaginative prompts to draw or paint new things. You could easily convert it to prompts to craft interesting terrain pieces instead, for example. That's awesome. Yeah, working through Solidity this week. Yeah. No, I hadn't even thought about that. But yeah, it's that kind of concept, and that literally that is exactly what I was just saying. It's just like I hadn't even thought about that. Like there are, just because of the genre, because tabletop role playing is there are books, but because it is entirely supposed to be going on in your imagination, opening that world up to how different brains, how different people interpret things and what they mean and what they imagine and how they imagine it, it's so awesome. There's just so much variation, and I think for people who really enjoy that aspect of it, the not a competitive, but a I want to tell a story and I want other people to have a part of that story with me. That's what I've always gotten out of gaming, is the story, the ideas, the memory of, oh yeah, and then this happened, it was crazy, and it was like, really, we were just sitting around rolling some dice. But for a little bit there, it felt like we were in a completely different world, doing different things, and not having to deal with some of the crap of this world. And I think while that is, escapism is something that is good and bad, I think gaming escapism, as opposed to a lot of other types that you could choose, it's less destructive, self-destructive at least. It helped me a lot. I will say that. I used and still use gaming as a form of escapism, maybe. I mean, it's just I've done it, it's pretty much my default mode of existing, is just thinking about this kind of stuff all the time in the back of my mind, while I'm going on about my life. This kind of thing is just perpetually going on in my head, thinking about worlds that don't exist, but I wish that they did, thinking about games, thinking about different things, how to play, how to think about changing rules around to come up with new adventures. Stuff like that is perpetually in my head, and with the internet and everything, we now have abilities to find other like-minded people, which is crazy. It's wonderful when you're like, man, I have an idea, because I don't think anybody likes this thing except for me, and then you find out there's actually a ton of people all over the world that like that thing. It's just cool. It's just cool. Man, this wood's looking great. Yeah, and then of course we're going to go back over any little sprinkles of a sprinkle. Oh, it's a sprinkle. A sprinkle of glue or whatnot, which is kind of like a squiggly and a sprinkle mixed together. A sprinkle. That's gonna look good. I'm loving it. Bloodborne is definitely on the list of games that I have. I'm like, I really want to play. I have not played it yet. There's so much to it, and also I want to paint them. I have so many things that I want to do, which that's another one, is just trying to narrow down all the games that I want to play, all the games that it's just like are worthwhile to put the time investment in, and that is probably where my biggest rant comes in about all the things. It's just like my days outside of Trench Crusade, let me rephrase that, because again, it's just the models that I'm going to make no matter what game I play. They could probably fit in Trench Crusade. Just horrifying religious zealots, grimdark religious zealots, World War I influence, and then satanic demonic monsters. That's kind of my jam. So other than just making that kind of stuff, I really don't want to make obscene amounts of models for games anymore. I was talking to Kelly about that last night. Was what I want out of the hobby has changed so much in the past couple of years, even in the past year, and what I enjoy out of it. And my desire to actually finish projects and to play the games and to show other people how they can do it is like the most all-consuming aspect. It went from being like, oh, I kind of want to plan a list, or oh, I want to do this. I'm building the fucking castle, and I'm building it today. And here we are, we're building the castle. And I like that, because otherwise it's like, okay, well, I spent a couple hours thinking about which little dude I want to have in my list, because I want to make sure that it's worth my time for all the effort I'm going to put in on working on that dude. And that sounds crazy,
But I can't not do that because that's kind of how the games are made to be played. Like, you definitely can not care as much, but that's fundamentally how the games were designed, is to be obsessed with, to the point that, like, yeah, you just keep going back and spending money, because that's really what the game is just spending money to win. And getting that satisfaction out of it is, oh yeah, I got a win. It's just like that I paid for. Why do I like this? I've never been like that. If anything, I've actually been the polar opposite, where I really like to make fluffy lists and then take them to a grand tournament. That was the kind of stuff that I used to do when I actually actively tried to play Warhammer, was use lore accurate lists and then just go as hard and savagely as possible on people that like to play tourney style 40k. But I don't enjoy that. It's actually not a very pleasant thing. So I don't actually enjoy doing it, so I don't play it anymore. It was more of a me lashing back at, like, why don't you play the game the way it was meant to be, in my opinion, or how it was designed, which was not serious, a beer and pretzels kind of game. I'm just kind of ranting and talking a lot of opinions right now, but they're mine. They're my opinions. Okay, that one looks a little bigger. I could probably find a while. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Oof. Also, I'm not dunking on anybody. If anybody has like a brand of minis, a brand of company that they like, you do you, boo-boo. I'm just saying me personally. I've had to reevaluate a lot of what I want out of my life, out of my relationships, out of my job, out of everything. I've really tried to reevaluate where I am and think about what I'm doing more. And those are just things that I've come to the conclusion with. I like that a lot. I'm really happy with that. I think I might stop here. I might keep working on this now that I've shown you guys what I'm doing, just to probably unwind. I might drink my coffee and just be gluing, and maybe start clipping these things. I'm gonna get working on a little bit more stuff today, but I won't do anything crazy. I won't do any scaffolding. Next time you see this, it will just have the wood on the round parts. I won't add grid. I won't do any of that stuff without streaming it, because I'm definitely going to want to use the video. And eventually, yes, I'm going to be making actual videos. It's not just going to be a YouTube that's just streaming, or a place to find me where I can talk instead of just messaging in Discord. Like, I want to have a community. I want to have an active hobby community that covers a lot of things. I'm just really hyper-fixating on knocking this out so I can support the two gaming companies that I really am wanting to support when I think they need it the most, which is like right now. Not when I've been, invested in it for 26 years. Like, that's another big thing, not to talk about why I'm switching or why I'm leaving one very large franchise. I just don't have anything to add to that, and I don't think we have the IP that I was once in love with is not even the same IP anymore. It's so different that I don't even recognize it, and I don't feel welcome. So I really am. It's honestly, I think, for the best for everybody. And I mean that, like, not angry. I'm like, I am excited and feel way less overwhelmed than I did with the amount of Warhammer shit that I have in this cabinet. It's overwhelming. It is overwhelming how many models I have, and knowing it's like, oh, that's for this army, that's for this army, that's for that, that's for this. So it's just like so many different things. And it's just like, at the end of the day, when I try to finally decide I want to play this game, or I want to show my friend so-and-so this game, the trying to get it to not be just too much all the time, where you're eventually get something done, is very difficult.
And I know that sounds crazy to be like, hey, you're working on a Trench Crusade board that is colossal as well as a 1490 board at the same time, and all the models at the same time. I am doing all those at the same time, but I'm doing them in a way that like it works for me, as opposed to I need to build a model specifically to have these options, because now the options that he had for years aren't valid anymore because they want me to buy another model. And then just pretending that it's anything other than that, I just won't do it. So that's where I am on that, and I think I'm probably done. That'll probably be my last rant, hopefully, about that, until someone asks me, why don't you play Warhammer? But that's why. I like the other games that are coming out now far more than the one that I tried to play for decades. But yeah, I think I'm going to stop here. Thank you so much for hopping on and enjoying the stream. Hopefully enjoying the stream, watching the stream, talking, chatting. Any recommendations, anything that you would like to see, please put it in there. I've been terrible about responding to comments, but I'm going to do that. I need to go back and respond to comments. I need to respond to emails. I need to do things other than just nonstop hobby to try and get this board done. But yeah, anything that you would like to see, anything that you're like, hey, you should look into this, please let me know. I'll throw a link to the Discord in here on this one as well, just to beep boop. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, never mind. I'll throw it in. I'm gonna put it on. I'm not gonna put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it into the. I'm gonna put it on my actual YouTube. I need that to be there, otherwise people won't see it probably. So, yeah, no, thank you so much. Take care. Sit pretty. I will talk to you later.